Today I want to talk about groups. Now, a lot of people are familiar with Facebook pages, and you may have a page of your own. You may subscribe and like certain pages by brands, but few people create groups for their businesses. They may be part of groups, but they actually don't create a group of their own. So today we're going to do a deep dive into Facebook groups, the pros and cons, and how they are different from Facebook pages. In a previous lesson, we looked at Facebook pages and how Facebook pages are great for your business. If I was to create an analogy between Facebook pages and Facebook groups, a Facebook page is like a rock concert. You are the rock star, you're on stage, you're broadcasting your message to tens of thousands of fans. However, the fans cannot talk to each other. It's a one-way communication by you, the rock star, to the fans. So on Facebook pages, on most pages, the fans cannot communicate with each other, but the brand gets to communicate with the fans. A Facebook group is dramatically different. Liken it to a fireside chat that the tribal elders or people in villages had at dusk. They would sit around the fire, exchange stories of what happened during the day, and there was a sense of community. A Facebook group is like that, except that it's online. So that's the biggest difference between the two. Now, there is another big difference, and that is you can advertise on Facebook pages, and for any advertising on Facebook itself, you need a page. So the two are very closely interlinked. For example, on Facebook pages, once you create a post, you can boost a post. Or if you decide to create an ad, you have to link it back to a Facebook page. However, you can do neither of them in a Facebook group. Facebook groups are not for any form of advertising. And finally, the last stark difference is that on Facebook pages, you get a lot of insights, data, analytics about the traffic coming to your page, who the people are, what kind of posts they like, so on and so forth. You have none of that in a group because a group is not meant for analyzing data about your members. It's a community of like-minded people who have come together, chosen you as the administrator of the group, and then they communicate with one another. So the background and the reason for their creation is quite different. A Facebook group is very different from a Facebook page. So with that as a background, let's take a look at some groups or some categories of groups that you will find. Now, if you go into your normal Facebook profile, and let's do that here. So this is my Facebook news feed. And if I come down here and click on groups, it will open up to show lots of different kinds of groups. Let's scroll down. And I have the option of joining them if I want to. You can also see that the groups vary in terms of the number of people who are members. So for example, this group has 2,000 members, but this one has 60,000 members. This one has 70,000 members. And therefore the size of the group varies quite a bit depending upon the subject matter, about the interest, and how the group administrator has got people on board. So lots of groups, and Facebook categorizes groups into specific categories that you can see here. So if you want to become a member of a group, it's very easy to go and join in. If you're if you're fond of fitness, if you like going to the gym, then it might make sense to click on the health and fitness groups and see which kind of group do you want to join. Now, that said, let's go back to our news feed, and this time around we want to create a group rather than become a member of a group. So I'm going to go here right at the bottom where you can see this section called create, and I'm going to click on this link group. Now let's go ahead and start creating a group. And we're going to link this group with the page we had created earlier, which was a page for Bob's cooking classes. In fact, just to refresh your memory, I'm going to go to that page first. So just 1 minute, I'm going to shut this down and let's look at Bob's cooking classes. So if you remember, we had created a Facebook page and we are now able to bring fans onto our page through advertising, through word of mouth, through our email list on this page. And now we are interested in creating a group of like-minded cooking enthusiasts that Bob can administer, or he can be an admin of that group. So let's see how to do that. What we're going to do is I'm going to right click, open up another tab, come here, create group. So let's create a group now. Okay, let's give it a name now, and I'm going to call it Bob's Pals. Now we need to add in some names. So let me go ahead and do that. Just remember that you cannot create a group where you are the only member. There has to be at least one more member. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And then we go ahead and we can create. But before that, it's a good idea right now to select the privacy. What kind of group do you want to create? And look at the options. Now there are three options basically. One is a public group where anyone can see the group members and their posts. In a closed group, you can see the group and the members, but you can't see the posts. And finally, in a secret group, you can see absolutely nothing at all. And only the admin can invite members into that group. So I'm going to leave it as a closed group for the moment. And maybe I'll pin it to my shortcuts and click create. Let's go ahead and choose an icon because it's a group for food, regarding food and cooking. Let's see if there's an interesting icon in that space. All right, let's click this. And now you've created the framework for your group. It's called Bob's Pals and it's a closed group. And you saw how to do that. In terms of members, there's only one member at the moment. And let's scroll down. Okay. The next thing you've got to do is to create a cover image for your group. The problem here right now is that we don't know the dimensions of this area, and you need to go to Google and type in Facebook group image size 2017 because the size tends to change once in a while. So that's why I've added in 2017 and you'll get a lot of results. So you can click through some of them and find out, what the dimensions are. I've done that here and I found that the Facebook group header cover photo in terms of size is 821 by 303. All right, let's go back to our friend Canva and use custom dimensions 821 by 303. And let's design a Facebook cover image. Let's see what I can upload. I'm going to use the same image that I use for Bob's Facebook page. I'm going to use some text here so that there is some similarity between the page and the group. Okay, now we need to increase the size. It's pretty small at the moment. So let me do this. Now we need to make it larger. Take it on top here. And I'm going to change the color so it stands out a little bit. And that's fine for me. This works. So I'm going to download it now. Always remember to download it as a PNG. Let's download it here. That's done. And now let's go back here and upload that same photograph onto a Facebook group. There. So now if I was Bob and if I was building my brand, I have a page called Bob's Cooking Classes and this is my Facebook page. But I also have a Facebook group called Bob's Pals. And you can see that the two work in conjunction with each other. I can do my advertising and my brand building through my Facebook page. But at the same time, once I have a community or once I have a couple of people, I can shift them into a group or if I'm selling an online coaching class, for example, then my students can be brought into this closed group where we can form a community of like-minded students learning from Bob. Okay, so the first part we have done, which is add in the cover image. Now click this button here and let's go into edit group settings. Once you come here, you can change the icon if you want, if you've had second thoughts about it. You can change the name. It's a good idea to go ahead and pick the group type, because as you saw earlier, right at the beginning of this lesson, Facebook tends to club groups into categories and it makes it easier for people to find them. Having said that, if your group is a closed group and you don't want people to find them in the first place, then you don't have to pick a group type. So this is optional. What I'd recommend you do is to create a well-written, well-thought-out description for your Facebook group along the lines of the description that you've created for your Facebook page. I mean, you could even copy it from there. Just make sure that the description has some relevant keywords, and you saw how to create high-quality keywords based on the research that you do from the Google Keyword Planner. So create a paragraph or two which describes to a newcomer who's joining the group what the group is about. That's one. But more importantly, how will they benefit from being a member of the group? Remember that every person, when they take an action, they want to know what's in it for me. So don't spend too much time going into elaborate details about the group and about how cool the group is and the members and about your life story, etc. What you should do is to elaborate on the benefits that the visitor will have when they become a member of the group. So fill this part in, and you can add in some tags. You can add in a location. So let me go ahead and do that. Now, it's always a good idea to come and get your web and email address for the group. Now let's go ahead and fill this up. Remember that we are called Bob's Pals. And let's customize this. There, that's done. So now what will happen is that our group has an address called facebook.com/groups/Bob's Pals. And also an email address. So what happens is email sent to this address will appear as posts in the group, bobspals@groups.facebook.com. Therefore, it's important to fill up this section and add in, as you'd seen earlier, the name of the group so that you can get both a web address and an email address. You can change your privacy settings, and you saw how to do that earlier. This section is very important. Who decides who becomes a member? So by default, all groups are set to this selection where any member can add or approve members, which obviously you don't want, especially if you are managing a closed group. So click this button here, this radio button, which is any member can add members, but an admin or moderator must approve them. And without that approval, they cannot join in. So let's leave it at that for the moment. Now you have an option of asking people who want to sign up some questions, and therefore use that as a filter to decide who you want as a member and whom you don't want to bring into the membership. And you can add in some questions here. Following that, you have an option of deciding who's going to be able to post in the group. Should it be everyone or only admins? Now, the second option doesn't really make sense. I don't know why they have it, because what's the point of being a part of a group if only the admin can post to the group? You might as well have a Facebook page. And then this section, which is all group posts must be approved by an admin or moderator. When you start a group and until you have a sense of the group, while the group is small, you could do that. You could click this and say all group posts need to be approved. But once a group becomes really large, you saw some groups which were about 10, 20, 30,000 group members, then you can't possibly be in a position to start approving all the group posts. And then you would have to unclick this. Let me go ahead and save. So the basic website settings have now been saved. The next important part is managing the group. Let's assume that you've created your group and you have a certain number of people in the group. So every once in a while, as an admin, you have to come and manage the group. You have to come and see how many people have requested membership, and you can ask pending members some questions. Existing members may have reported a post or a comment to the admin, which may be inappropriate for the group. There may be some reports to Facebook, okay, and some request notifications. So, you can decide whether you want a notification when people ask to join, or only see requests to join when visiting the group. So you decide which one you want to set up. That's how the group is managed. And you can jump in once in a while as an admin and also participate in the group discussions which are going on there. Okay, let's go back here. So this is the link which is about the discussion link. There's currently nothing in it right now because this is a brand new group. In terms of members, there are only 2 people who are members at the moment. As your group fills up, you can start creating events that your members can participate in, and these events could be offline or online events. This is a link for photographs, and once again, a lot depends upon the interactivity in the group and how people start participating, and this section will also fill up pretty fast. And we'll come back to manage the group, which you saw earlier. As an admin, you have this link where you can manage the group settings as well as manage what's happening in your group. Now let's take a big picture look of how pages and groups would work. So if I was Bob, the base of my fans I would leave on Facebook pages. I would be able to communicate with them. I would be able to advertise offers, schemes, build the brand, and have a one-way communication with my large fan base. At the same time, once the fan base buys one of my products or my courses or whatever and becomes a customer, I could induct them into my Facebook group. The Facebook group becomes a very exclusive place of customers only, and they know that. And they know that they're currently in a closed environment. There is a certain value attached to that, and that's how you could have a Facebook page and a Facebook group working in conjunction with each other. All right, let's now talk about a really exciting tool on Facebook, and that's called Facebook Live. Facebook Live is a relatively recent phenomena. It was introduced 2 years back. It started with being usable on your mobile phone, but as of January or February of this year, you can now use it from your laptop, and that's a big game changer because it allows us, people like you and me, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, coaches, etc., to build a brand by broadcasting live from our offices, from our homes. And let's take a look at what it looks like and how easy Facebook has made it for you to become an independent broadcaster in your own right. Now, Facebook Live, when you come to your Facebook page, this is the button you've got to click to start a live broadcast. You can start a live broadcast from your page as well as from your group. So this is Bob's Pals, which is a closed group, and you can start your live video broadcast from here. You can also start it from your personal newsfeed, from your personal profile. Now I'm going to go here and click this button which says start a live video. So it takes me into an area. Now the recording hasn't started yet, but Facebook has picked up the camera, the mic, and I can take a look at whether the background and everything looks correct before I start. Now before you start your live broadcast, let's say something about it, right? So let's say that we want to talk about this is a test broadcast. Oops, sorry for the typo. Right, this is a test broadcast. You can add an emoji, you can check in as to where you are. It will always go public. And now when I click this button, I will go live. So let's do that. You have a little timer to make sure that you're absolutely ready. And now I'm ready. I'm live. I'm broadcasting from the Facebook page, from Bob's Facebook page. There's a little counter here which tells me how many seconds I've been live for, and I can stop the broadcast whenever I want by clicking finish. And It's pretty bare bones right now. Now, as you go live, as you start broadcasting, Facebook will push out the notification that you're broadcasting live to all your fans, or to, I think, to as many fans as possible. I'm not really sure about the exact number, given that the fact that the organic reach of posts is not very high. It would be wrong to say that it goes out to all your fans, but to many of your fans. And as they come and watch your live broadcast, on their phones, they can send emojis, they can send likes, and all kinds of stuff, which will then float across right here at the bottom of the screen. And that's a kind of basic interaction that you have on Facebook Live. Remember that this is a broadcast and it is not a two-way interaction. It's not like a webinar where they can ask you questions and you can answer them back. It's pretty basic at the moment, but it allows you to go live in real time and be in a position to broadcast to your fans and spread the message and build your brand, right? So I'm going to now click finish and end this broadcast. It's been on for 1 minute and 36 seconds. Click this. And now what I need to do, at the moment you won't see the broadcast, I'm going to refresh the page. I've now refreshed the page. So let's scroll down and see what our video looks like. And here it is. So this is our test broadcast. Now I've muted the volume so you won't be able to hear the audio, but this is what it looks like. As you can see, the visual clarity is really high, and this gives you an opportunity of broadcasting to your fans, to your followers, and building your brand in real time, right? Now, once the broadcast is over and the broadcast is on this page here, you have the ability of boosting this post and sending your message not only to your fans, but let me click this and show you. You can also broadcast this message to people through targeting. So, for example, let's assume that Bob wants to reach out to men and women aged, let's say 30 to 65. He can choose whichever country. You can do, and he can say, I'm interested in people who are interested in cooking, right? And he adds that in, and plus a lot of other stuff which we will discover in our advertising module. And then he can promote this post to those people. So see what he's done. He's created a post, sorry, I beg your pardon. He's created a broadcast, a live broadcast to build his brand with his followers. Then you can take that post and the live broadcast, create and broadcast it to all the fans, as well as to people who are not associated with this page. That is the power of advertising on this platform. Let's go ahead and cancel this. And this is what the broadcast looks like. So this is what Facebook Live looks like, and I encourage you to try it because it's a really powerful tool and it gives you the opportunity of building your brand in real time with your fans. Now, remember that when you create a live broadcast, it's a good idea to have a structure for your broadcast. What are you going to be talking about? So before you have a live broadcast, a couple of days prior, let people know that you would be broadcasting. So you could have a fixed day and time for a broadcast, like after office hours on Friday. So every Friday you do a live broadcast. And within a couple of weeks, people will start expecting and anticipating your live broadcast. Then when the broadcast starts, start by thanking people for coming and watching your live broadcast. So one is to thank them for the time right at the beginning of the broadcast. Next, you've got to set expectations of what they're going to get when they listen to you for the broadcast, and the duration should be approximately 10 to 15 minutes, not more than that, because a lot of people are consuming your content on their mobile phone. Then give high value content during the broadcast. Wrap it up with what you have said in terms of, an overview of bullet points, and then always have a call to action. After they've watched your broadcast, what do you want them to do which helps your brand? What do you want them to click on? What do you want them to like? Do you want them to go to your website and consume the next amount of content? Do you want them to sign up for something? So give free content through the broadcast, but have a call to action at the end, which makes them do something which is beneficial for your brand. And of course, during the broadcast, you can interact with them. You can ask them questions. You can ask them to like, click, comment, create the broadcast and make sure it is as interactive as possible and not a one-way monologue during the broadcast. Now, what do you do once the broadcast is over? So the first thing is that you can boost the post and advertise it to people who like your page as well as audiences outside your page. The next is you could download this video and upload it to your YouTube channel if you have one. And I'll show you in a later session how to download this particular video, because there is no default download button for this, but there is a way, and I'll show that to you later. And you can also share this in groups that you are a member of. So for example, if once I've created my broadcast, I can share this, go ahead and share this right on my own timeline. I can share it in a group. I can even share it in an event or share it on a page that I manage. So you can see that once the broadcast is created, there's a lot that you can do with it, and you're not straitjacketed by only having it on your page. So you could also share this broadcast on other groups which are related to cooking. If they allow members of groups to contribute, you can add this broadcast into that group. That's how powerful this service is. Let's now talk about another cool feature about Facebook that you can use to build your brand, and that is Facebook events. Now you can create an event from your Facebook page, Facebook group, or from your personal profile. For the purposes of this walkthrough, we are going to build it from our Facebook page, but the principles and the steps for the other two are exactly the same. To create an event, now let me roll back a bit. And what is an event? An event could be an online event, an offline event. What you're saying to your fans and followers is, hey, there's an event coming up. This is the time and date for the event. Be there. And this is an opportunity to interact and get to know each other. So let me click on an event and start filling this up. Let's assume once again that we are Bob. It will pick up an event photograph, and the default photograph is the image of the cover page. You can change it, but I'll leave it here right now. Let's change this to Bob's Grilling Live Demo, and the location is okay, so it's in Galleria Market in Gurgaon. Starts on at a particular date, at a particular time. You can fill in details about the event, add in some keywords. I'm going to make it free. If you were charging for admission, you could tie up with an online ticketing service and add the URL here. You could decide to have co-hosts. So if you decided, then you could add in the names here. And then in terms of posting, you have certain choices: who can post, do the post need to be approved or not, etc. And do you want to display a guest list of people who have accepted the invitation, people who have declined the invitation, so on and so forth. I'm going to remove that, but by default it is always checked. And now I can publish this event. So that's what an event looks like. And it will tell you, for example, the insights will tell you how many people this event has reached, how many have viewed it, how many have responded to it. You can boost the event once again to reach more people. And that's the power of Facebook advertising. It'll give you a lot of options for all of this. So as you can see, the image has been pulled from the cover image. And this is how the layout looks. If people click this, then it shows that they're interested in going. So, I am now interested in going for this particular event. Let me refresh the page. Let's see what comes up now. So this is what it looks like. This is the location. And then people can come in and write posts and, talk about the event. Now I had clicked the fact that I'm interested, and that's now visible here for people. I can share this if I want. And I can share it in Messenger. So this is what an event looks like. An event is a great way of building a sense of buzz and excitement around a Facebook page. So you have a Facebook page, which we will come back to right here. Let's see. So this is a page, and every once in a while, you should have an event, an online event or an offline event, which allows people to interact with your brand. We've now wrapped up today's session where we've looked at Facebook groups, Facebook live video, and Facebook events. All these three are really powerful tools which will enable you to build your brand online on Facebook. And I encourage you to use all of them in conjunction with each other. You can start slow first. So first build your Facebook page, then start looking at creating a Facebook group. From your Facebook page, once in a while, have a Facebook event. Try to use Facebook Live regularly. So make sure that you have all these tools that Facebook provides working for your brand and building a brand from strength to strength. Thanks. That's all for now.